The dreaded slice, those shots that curve too much from left to right for the right-hander and end up in the trees most of the time. Seems to get worse with your driver, but you tend to do it with every single club. If this is you, stay tuned. This video is really going to help. Let's get into it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Kerry Gray here at the Joondalup Resort, and in this video, once again, I'm going to show you how to fix that dreaded slice. Before we get into it, please go down below, click subscribe, click that little bell so you get notified of all the great content coming your way. Okay, slice fix time. So a slice for someone who is a right-handed golfer, if I set up to this golf ball here, from the top of the swing, we would generally see this golf club move in a high to low position or an out to in direction across the golf ball underneath this noodle, which I've got set up as a reference line, with a club face which is open relative to the path. So what does that mean? Well, club face is the king of starting direction. Where we aim our club face, the ball is generally going to start in a very simplistic manner. However, where we swing, so the direction in which the club head is moving, will dictate the curvature. So, for example, facing the camera, if my club face is aiming at the camera and I swing towards the camera, there's a good chance that ball's going to go straight. For a slicer of the golf ball, their club face would be open relative to the direction in which they're swinging, so cutting across in this direction, and that puts some of this spin and this bias on the ball, which causes it to curve excessively to the right. Now, if you have a little bit of this action, so the club only comes slightly in this direction with an open face, you might get a soft fade. But for those of you who slice the golf ball, there's a good chance that you're actually doing that a lot. Now, another common question I get from a lot of players is, I'm pretty good with my irons, but my woods, and especially my driver, really is just so inconsistent and curves a lot. And one of the big reasons being is that the effects with driver are just magnified. It is the longest, lightest, least lofted club that you swing at full speed, and therefore any glancing blow that you have, the effects are just magnified. And that's a really important concept to understand. So working to eradicate that slice with the driver, well, that can be done through just improving the overall mechanics and motion of your golf swing. So let's talk about some of the biggest commonalities that we see with players who slice the golf ball. So from the address position, I'll set up to this, I've got a noodle placed on about the same angle as my club shaft directly in front. So with a slicer of the golf ball from the top of the swing, they would come down, and we're going to stop in this frame here. We would generally see from where the camera is, the club head is outside the hands. So this would be a slicing position. A drawing position would be behind the hands. A slicing position would be when the club face is open. So in this halfway down position, a square club face would be matching our spine angle. Anything open to that would mean that the club face is open relative to the direction that we're swinging. So therefore, all things being equal, the club face comes down into impact and the ball's going to go too far to the right. So a slicer would get to the top. Their club would come in a high to low position. The club face would be open. The club would move across the ball in this direction. So really, the cause of the slice, more than anything, is the club face. So if we can fix the club face first, that's going to make a huge difference to our ability to start drawing the golf ball, because that's what we want to do. If you're a slicer of the golf ball, I want to get you hooking the golf ball. If we can then trap and find the middle ground, we'll hit it relatively straight, hopefully with a little draw. So a slicer of the golf ball, we understand that one of the key components which causes that is the club face. And what affects the club face? It is our grip. So we are going to assume that if you're a player who slices the golf ball too much, that you have what's called a weak grip. So I'm going to give you a great little strategy to fix that. So what I want you to do is you're going to hold the golf club out in front of you like this, and then you're going to turn the club face down to the ground. And with your normal grip, you're just going to hold the golf club. Now it's going to look really, really, really quite weird to you. However, from here, this is the key. What we're going to do is we're then going to rotate our forearms until the club face is square. So if we use the back of my hand as a reference, we can now see in this position that the back of the hand is now pointing up towards the sky. The slicer of the golf ball would have the back of the hand, or the logo of the glove, pointing too much down towards the target. You can see it gets this orientation where the thumb is down the center of the shaft. If we want to hook the golf ball, we want to turn our hand to the right, both with our left and our right hand. Now, this is the most simple way to change your connection with the club. Instead of starting with the club face straight and then trying to work your hands on the grip, simply just by closing the club face, holding it how it feels comfortable, and then twisting your forearms into this position, well, now that gets us into a position where the handle's going to lean a little bit more forward and the club face, all things being equal, is going to come in closed. Now, this is step one, because what generally happens once we get a club face, which is in this stronger orientation because we've changed our grip, players are still going to want to come down from this high to low position, so an out to in direction relative to the target. Now, when they do that, the club face is now matching the direction in which you swing, and you're simply just going to hit it into the left bushes over there. You're going to hit a pull hook or something similar. So step one is to fix a club face. In this video, what we've done is we've just done it by fixing our grip and rotating our forearms. Step two is to change the direction in which you swing. So what I've got out in front of me here is a noodle out in front. This is just going to represent a straight swing. So all things being equal, I've got my strong grip. I'm going to swing to the top. I would come down, I would strike the ball and swing through. Now, we want to exaggerate the pattern of someone who hooks the golf ball. So if we hook the golf ball, we need to now get our swing heading out to the right, okay? So as simple as this, I want you to get a noodle, stick it in the ground, something similar like that. You can even get a little basket, place it just in front. You're gonna stand up, get the club face into a closed position, twist the forearms, and then from there, without a golf ball first, all I want you to do, set up square and make some swings, getting the club feeling like it's working above that noodle. Now, the first couple of times you do this, it's going to feel very odd. You're going to feel like it's going to hook a lot. You're going to feel that the arms are extending away from the body. You're going to feel that club face close down, a big release, quite a few different sensations from what you would experience if you're someone who slices the golf ball. So we've got our strong grip. We've had some practice swings, swinging above the noodle. We're going to reset every time, and now from here, just starting off with little half swings, swinging above that noodle. Now, that ball curved a good 10 meters in the air, just with a little 6-iron. And what I want you to do is just start off with little half swings and then build up from there. If you go too fast, too early, what's going to happen is you're just going to go back to habitual patterns. You're going to lose the feeling, and you're not going to be able to implement this information as well as you can. So start off slow, just the same as learning any other skill. Now, after you've done that a couple of times and you're able to swing to the right of the noodle, adjust your grip every time, swing to the right, watch that ball curve from right to left, only half swing still. I then want you to pick up to a full speed. And you can see that this club shaft very much on line with the one that we've got set out in front. So what I'm doing is I'm exaggerating the club face, turning my hands over, setting up to the ball, and then really exaggerating the swing out to the right. And that ball is curving from right to left every single time. Now, there's a good chance the first couple of times you do this, you may strike behind the ball, but here's a little system, a little process for you to follow to give you a much better chance of getting that ball curving from right to left for the right-hander, or eliminating that slice altogether. Now, if you're a left-hander, let's make sure that you just flip this around so it applies directly for you. So there you have it. A couple of keys that you can use to eliminate that slice. If it's a big frustration, this is the way you're going to do it. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Any questions, please ask me below. Until next time, I'm Kerry Gray. Thanks for watching.